What's going on, people? So, got a pair of Yeezys here, right? Which is, it's another month, another pair of 350s. That's kind of how I feel about that because, well, not to say I get a pair every month, but it feels like I get them often. You know what I'm saying? Like, for those of you who watch those videos, you probably know what I'm talking about. There are some people who, seem to only watch those videos. I haven't seen that guy in the comments lately. He would just respond to, or not respond, but would only talk on those. And he'd always be like one of the oldest ones. But yeah, I'm thinking about getting these. I'm like, cool. And then a couple weeks later, he's like, oh man, I want to get these. I'm like, cool. Yeah. So, I wonder if he ever got them. I don't know. He never really says that he did. Or maybe I just don't pay enough attention to what he's saying because I stopped caring. Either way, let's see. Where's the side of this box? There's that for you, right? So, these right here, I'm guessing it just says Onyx on the side. It does. I'm going to assume that these are named after one of my favorite of all the Pokemons, but I could be wrong on that, right? Well, he's not the favorite. I would say that's probably, what was that, like Fire Horse thing, or what is it? No, Fire Chicken? Blaziken, that guy. He's pretty alright. I do like him. And of course, was it for Alligator? Yeah, that one was. Those are probably the three that I like. I don't know a whole lot of them, but visually speaking, those ones caught my attention. So let's talk about these. Let me make sure these things look alright first off, Not that it matters, because I can't exchange them or whatever. Where did I get these? This was a confirmed thing, because this is an Adidas box. So I got these from the confirmed thing. I won a raffle some weeks ago. I honestly didn't really care how that went one way or the other, because I already have a couple black 350s, which I meant to pull out for this review, but that didn't happen. Maybe I'll slip something in at the end. We'll see. But either way, I guess we'll do the full review on that, what was that, the bone video? Maybe you saw that? That one I didn't. Which some people seem like they didn't care for. Maybe they just didn't like that I talked down on something they like. I don't know. But whatever. I think we'll do the full one. Why not, So, like I said before, this right here in front of your face is the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2 in the Onyx colorway, right? So, that being that, let's go ahead and get on into this thing, huh? Gonna start with the bottom, because that sounds like a good place to start. Down there, what are we looking at here? I haven't seen it yet. It is very plain. It's black and white. I should have seen that coming, right? But, whatever. It is what it is. Midsole, right? Second verse, same as the first, right? Then you switch over to the back. Even that is just kind of blacked out. Sometimes it's a little discolored back there. This time, from a distance, not really. Up close, kind of, sort of. But still, mostly not really. All right. Overview shots, right? Those are mildly important. So let's get those in there. You can kind of see, looking at it from the top down, there's not a whole lot going on here, right? A whole lot of black, a whole lot of prime knit, some different stitching patterns, that sort of thing, right? But we do talk about the details to some extent, so we're going to get down in here and hopefully make this relatively quick. Down here, toe box area, right? So obviously on the left side, right side, whatever, you kind of see that the stitching pattern does switch up just a little bit between the two, right? It's not as easy to see on these because they're just black, right? But on, I don't know, what was the last one that I did? The synth RF ones? Then you can kind of see, because they had some salmon and some white. It doesn't have that going on. Anyways, outside here, right? On this side, you're going to see that strip thing, right? The little plastic see-through whatever that they have on here for, to show they're changing things and not keeping with the same design, right? So they started doing this a while ago, and that's going to be hanging around seemingly until the end of time, because I don't know that they're getting rid of it. But you got that happening. And then as far as everything else goes, I can get you another shot or two, or maybe I already have, just kind of showing you some of the other ways that they've done the stitching on the upper. But it's kind of one of those things where you can see it for yourself. I don't need to explain it to you, because why? You know what I'm saying? Why? So let's go ahead. Let's move on past that. We'll get onto the back, right? On the back end here, you do have this little pull tab thing that some people like having around. Like I just said in that Grant Hill video, I don't care for extra stuff on my shoes. So that's just me though. But there's going to be that for you. I will say one thing, getting back to like the stitching, one thing that does stand out is like on the middle sections, there's like nothing going on there. It's all just very plain, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the deal is with that, but it's something I'll mention because why not? Now, past all that, let's jump over back to the front area and knock out these laces, right? Should be pretty easy because they're just black, right? You saw that going into it, so there you go. As I often say though, I do really like the laces that they put on the 350s. Not sure what it is. I just really like the style. I'm like, they're just the right amount of like thickness, I guess, and they're often just plain enough, minus the ones that have like the reflective and the 3M or whatever. But yeah, I don't know, it's just a good choice to me. I'm not a huge fan of like that infinity thing though, for some reason. Even though I don't really like retie the laces, I just kind of like having the option to, I guess. I don't know. Either way, let's go ahead and jump onto the inside. What's going on in there? It's mostly the same on both. This one has Yeezy with like the globes. This one has Yeezy with the Adidas stripes. So there you go. That's going to be the difference between the two, right? And then otherwise, you got the same padding that you always have on the back areas, which is very nice for the back of your heel and whatnot. And then it's just going to be blacked out in there. So nothing special about it, not at all. So I believe we've covered everything there is to say about the visual component of this particular video. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to hit you with those personal thoughts, and then we'll do part 3, which is like the comfort and the sizing, and then we'll be done. Personally, I don't really care for these a whole lot in the sense that there's really just such an overwhelming plainness to them, right? It's not bad, you know, but I mean, I just can't really get behind this, which is why I only cared so much to get these. I put in on my raffles and stuff just to see what happens, and because I happen to have a lot of luck with 350s and only 350s, I usually get them, right? It's a thing that happens a lot. And so then I can look at them up close and see like how I really felt about them or how I really feel about them. And these, again, they're not terrible, right? It's just that for me, it's just a plain all black shoe, and I kind of like a little more to mine, like something more, right? And these, I don't know, they're just not doing anything great for me. Same, kind of the same thing I said about the bones, but the bones at least had the advantage of looking better than that cream pair a while ago because they at least had a better design to them, right? This, nah, I don't know. I have other black 350s, and I'm gonna say right now before I really think about it that I kind of prefer those. But you know, if you're into this, you're into this, and so maybe this review is kind of helping you get some good shots of them and helping you figure out how much money it's worth to spend on them or something. I don't know, but if you're wanting my suggestion, you already got it. If you missed it, rewind. I don't know what to tell you other than rewind. So that's going to be enough out of me talking about these. I don't know. What's the word I want to use? Did I use underwhelming? We'll go with underwhelming. We'll say that, right? Because, again, what is going on here, right? But either way, that's about that. So the sizing, I believe that's important. So I'm going to get into that. And I will say, since I haven't actually worn these, as you saw, because they just came out of a box, if there's anything that I need to put across the screen to like correct something that I'm about to say, that's why you gotta like watch the video, because like then you'll see stuff pop up like words, right? So hopefully you can read. If you can't, you're out of luck. I don't know what to tell you. Sizing wise, I bought these in a 9.5 because I buy all my shoes in a 9.5 for the most part. Given that my foot size is a 9.5, it tends to work out a lot. And on this run right here, well, a lot of 350s, they tend to fit pretty much true to size. The one thing I'll say is that they do run a little snug in a lot of cases, right? Some of them, they have the extra layers to them, like the MX series, so they'll feel even more so. Then you have some that are super thin, like the bones, which are less so. These, I'm not sure where they stand in the middle of all that stuff, but I'll put it on the screen. Past that though, you'll probably be okay in a lot of cases going with what you would normally buy in something like this, right? I usually go with the true to size because, again, it's prime knit, it stretches out, and I'm usually fine after that. But a lot of people do like to go up half a size, so find someone whose opinion you value more than mine and see what they would do, okay? Now, as far as the comfort of these here shoes though, right? I do like the feeling of the prime knit. It's very nice, very flexible and breathable. And the feeling of the 350, of the Boost itself, yeah, can't really talk down on that. I will say, as I often do, that it is super cushiony and kind of squishy, and not everybody likes that. Some people want something that's a little more firm under their foot. It's a very understandable thing, right? That's kind of why the Ultra Boost made that shift from the 4 to the 19. Remember that? But I just put it out there just to let people know that, hey, if you're just blindly jumping into this because someone said it's the most comfortable thing in the world, I want you to have a little bit more to think about before you go spending a couple $100s on something. Like, was this like $230 or something? I don't really remember, but they're not cheap, right? So if it's not cheap, you might want to think about it twice. Anyways, otherwise though, I mean, if you're into these, as far as like other colorways or this one in particular, it's gonna be a good summer wear though, for sure. Like, you know, it's all day comfort, you got that. Breathability, you got that. And some of the colors are pretty solid, I'm not gonna lie, right? This one, whatever. But that's about enough out of me as far as like the feeling of how these shoes worked out and all that stuff for me. Like I said, if there's anything I needed to add, it will have been visually on the screen. So if you were only listening, maybe you just didn't care. So I don't know. But that's it. I gotta get all those boxes over here. It's time to do my whole, second quarter pickup video, which is actually fewer shoes than the previous one. So I said I wanted to buy fewer shoes, and I'm doing it. I'm living my dream, people. So maybe one day I'll get down to like one a month, like Anthony Levine or something. So it's not likely. It's not likely at all. I would bet a lot of money that will never happen. But a boy can dream. From me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. I'm going to knock that thing out, do a little bit of a live session later on, which will have happened well before you see this video. But, you know, I'm saying it because it's still on my mind. Later, people. And of course, the 350s I want are at the very bottom of all this. Okay, so for anybody who's curious about how black these things are, we're going to go down the line. So you got some stuff laid out here. So going up first with those, I forget what those were called, like some kind of core black something or other. Obviously, those are winning, right? Move on over here to these, the black statics. They're not too far off, really. I mean, because those kind of have a little mixture of different shades in there, but those aren't exactly black either. These are actually kind of like coal in person. Then you got the cinder. It's a little bit better off than the cinder, right? And then, of course, with some actual black, you have that pair, whatever that pair was called. And then same sort of thing for the most part with this pair, the dazzling blue. Also blacker than these. So on their own, they stand off pretty all right. You know, it's not until you notice all these comparisons that you start to see these aren't as black as you might actually think. So there you go.